Yellow! Santon, Winchester, one of the most crime-ridden areas in West Baltimore. This was where Gervonta Tank Davis was originally from. You can feel his upbringing in the swagger he shows in the arena. With that said, thank you for joining me as we take a closer glance at this heavy-handed southpaw style. First thing we should notice, despite being a southpaw, Tank Davis stands with the same stance used by Floyd Mayweather, the Philly shell. With this stance, the lead hand protects the body and the backhand protects the chin. Defensive movement is used to compensate for the rest, like the shoulder roll for example. Notice how Hugo is circling away from Tank's power hand. He's trying to keep his line of attack while moving away from Gervonta's. Naturally, as Tank stalks his prey, he cuts Hugo off by stepping into his line of attack opposed to following him in a straight line. As a southpaw, ideally seeking the outside foot so that he can secure a superior angle of attack. For now, with his jabs and all, it is all more of a feeling out process, but as Gervonta cuts Hugo off, note how Hugo's already having to work harder. He's forced to walk a wider radius than Tank. These two jabs here are important. Reading the hand position when Hugo flinches to defend, he already feels his first window of opportunity. Extending his lead was to trigger high guard. Meanwhile, the body's wide open. Boom. The straight line paired with the force Tank committed with knocked Hugo off his position, which made returning with a counter not plausible to the moment he took the shot. Now, watch how Gervonta builds off of this. The same jab to trigger high guard, but now Hugo keys onto the possibility of a cross coming to the body. Gervonta, he expected this, and so he throws a cross that never came. Feint, Hugo reacts to a phantom. The stomach is wide open, thus, now, with power, Tank Davis wings in a lead hook. Boom. Note Tank's defensive responsibility. When one hand strikes, the other hand is defending, which mitigates follow-up from Hugo. Like a phantom, he leaves the space as another lead hook in comes. Leaving the lead hand low or even throwing it out lower is one center of gravity, which functions as a counterbalance, allowing for faster torso movement when pulling a shot. It's obvious. Gervonta may be ruthless in his power, but he is meticulous in his approach. When it comes to this game, he's playing chess, not checkers. Even here, stepping into his line of attack, lowering his level, he was coaxing Hugo to extend against it. It was a feint, leaving the space the moment the punch came in. As Hugo plants the back foot, Tank feels his opening. Touch, triggers guard, the body is wide open. All of this escalated off only a few jabs early on. With threat from his backhand, the jab worked to gauge and manage distance, feeling out his shots as he controlled his opponent into openings. Boom. A blow to the bladder. Hugo will not have a fun time getting out of bed tomorrow. Now, Tank Davis is the smaller man, but he is completely controlling his opponent, and despite being a power puncher, his jabs deliver modest commitment. He always appears ready to leave the space. After touching with his jab, overall, he seems too quick for Hugo to touch him at all. Watch this. Gervonta Tank Davis knows he will stimulate high guard by extending his lead. From here, we see resemblance to Deontay Wilder's technique. Haymaker, slinging elastic energy from the ligaments, tendons, and fascia, but not because he knows it will land flush. It's likely to have Hugo feel a bit of its power, and even then, it may still hurt him through guard. Typically, straight punches will beat winging shots to the punch, but that's only if you can predict then counter the haymaker beforehand. Tank had Hugo react to another punch, then mid-reaction, that was the moment he needed to safely load up his devastating power. Here, Ruiz successfully counters the jab by slipping inside then recoiling into a straight. If Hugo did this habitually throughout the bout, in response to the jab, Gervonta could adjust and catch the slip inside head position with the straight left. Here, appreciate Tank's control of Hugo. As Hugo attempts to circle out, Tank cuts him off against the ropes, maintaining the outside foot. He lets Hugo step out. Watch how, on this bounce, Tank feels the rhythm. Instantly, left straight fired on the half beat. It was the moment Hugo planted his feet on the canvas. Like music, this is a moment you feel out. He hit the beat as he felt it. Now in the corner, Hugo's options are more limited. He can't step out of the space. He knew, if he steps right or left, Tank can't catch him on the half-beat. Shelled in indecision, taking punishment for each moment that passes. He flurries to find space, likely knowing it would not land versus Tank's footwork. Inevitably though, in respect to Tank's real power, the pressure has him back up all over again. Watch this. This is a combination we've all done when training. Almost every coach shows this to us, whether you're in MMA or boxing. The jab cross, lead hook when doing mitt work. Here, the jab cross had real intent behind it, blasting Hugo against the ropes, but the load up for his lead came the moment the cross extended. The cross turned his torso back for a lead hook. Watch how he drops then loads the lead hand. He sacrifices defensive responsibility to maximize power. To further increase his overall power, watch how he loads his lead into the elastic properties of his ligaments, tendons, and fascia. He's winging the blow. Boom. The angle of connection paired with the power blasts the guarding hand away, which leaves Tank to connect clean on tempo. After taking this blow, Hugo is way more hurt than he even realizes. Beyond that, his spirit has no desire to continue. He had the courage to step in, then try his best. Unfortunately though, there was just a huge skill and power gap between him and his opponent. He knew his spirit would not be enough to win this bout. He would have just taken needless damage into a maybe much worse outcome. With all the fighters who've passed giving their vessel to the sport, if after trying their best they discover it was not enough, I must respect their self-awareness, recognizing their own limitations. Pressure, control with the real ability to respond to the moment, millisecond to millisecond. He's as explosive in his evasion as he is in his punching power. Overall, maybe Mayweather may have found the vessel to succeed him. Tank Davis, from here, it'll be interesting to see how his career ripples out, especially after Howie called out Vasily Lomachenko. That is real confidence. In an era that likely would have preferred ducking Lomachenko, this man, he feels himself to be up to the test. What do you think? Do you believe this is arrogant or is he ready? One thing's for certain, the game can only get harder from here. Thank you, Gervonta Davis, for this lesson. If you'd like more from me, please subscribe and hit the notifications. Thank you if you did, it truly does help the channel. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. It's good karma. And until next time, peace.